Yaksha.
Yaksha.
What's up, guys and dolls? We're going to talk about crazy experiences with the pots.
Oh, Lord.
We've got some hoots of stories to share about the pots. We're not really one for drugs and all that, you know. We don't do all that kind of stuff. But the pots, we've had some experience with the pots. And I mean, I've got my own story to tell, but I think we should start with your chocolate chip story.
So I had a friend who made special chocolate chip cookies, and she brings them to me, and she's like, "Here, take this home, and enjoy it." You know.
I heard that while you're talking.
So enjoy it, you know, and just have a nice little feeling. So I get home, and it's just a little bitty old cookie. It's maybe $half size, maybe a little bit bigger. And so I eat half of it. I wait 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I'm like, I don't feel nothing. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and eat the rest of this cookie. Boy, was that a mistake, because I got so freaking paranoid. I was in my shower trying to melting. I was so hot and so paranoid. I thought people were coming in my house and everything. I just stayed in the shower. I know I was in the shower for a good hour and a half.
Listen,
because
I would have never stayed in the shower if I was that paranoid, because I'd have had that psycho movie coming back to me.
No.
Especially thinking somebody's in the house. There's no way I will stay in the shower.
It was awful. It was awful. Needless to say, that was my last experience with chocolate chip cookies.
That's funny. You know, and I've never had anything other than just like a nibble of a brownie with pots in them.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't seem to do anything to me. And so I was cool with that, because I was really kind of scared
right.
of what it will do, because I don't want to melt. I mean, I knew your story. I don't want to melt. But then, you know, last year for my birthday, somebody bought me those gummies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never had those either. And tried one of those, and everybody else, then went to bed. I don't even remember why. Were you just... Well, did it mess you up enough to go to bed? I don't even know why everybody went to bed.
It was just late. We were all just kind of like...
But
we've been up for a while.
Yeah. But I was sitting here by myself watching TV, and I turned on this movie, and it looked really great and really captivating. And it showed all this imagery at first, you know, like the land and oceans and different things. And I'm not hearing anything, and I'm just thinking, cool, that's just the way it starts, right? But I'm high. So I just keep watching, right? And there's no sound. And I watched the whole day. It was 45 minutes that I'm into it. And I'm like, why can I not hear? And there was no noise in the house. And I'm thinking I done went deaf. I was really starting to panic. And so I went to turn the volume up louder to see if that mattered, and noticed that the mute had been on the whole time. And I was like, oh my God, I've literally just sat here for 45 minutes freaking out thinking I'm going deaf. And it's the damn mute button the whole time.
Lessons learned, don't do pot.
Right? Because it really can make you stupid. And I was blonde at the time anyway. I mean, naturally blonde, so I don't need no help. No offense to any blonde people out there. Don't take that the wrong way. But you know the punchline. You know the joke. Blondes are dingy. And this one, I don't care if this hair is dark now. I'm dingy sometimes. I'm like the smartest dingy person I know. Or the dingiest smart person. Whichever way you would say that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. And then there was the time that our one friend was over and took some of them same gummies and it made them plumb wiped out. They got goofy and silly and couldn't walk straight and had to go lay down and sleep it off.
Yep.
And I was like, these gummies are serious stuff. So no more for me. I ended up giving them all away. Yeah, I was like, I don't want that. I don't need that in my life. I don't like that kind
I didn't like that. I didn't
But
like that feeling at all.
I ain't never like melted the way you did.
It was
I
terrifying.
never-
Like I was terrified. Like, you know.
I wonder if it was like dabs or something instead of just regular marijuana. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I know that I was tripping out, and I mean, of course, you know, nobody lived with me at the time, and I was scared to death. Like I just felt like I was going to die of a heart attack. That's how I felt. Like I just was like, I felt all crazy and jittery and hot, and
that kind of makes me wonder if there wasn't something else in it.
but it made me super paranoid, which is why I thought I was so jittery and you know, I just thought it was that paranoid because you know you hear people say pot makes me paranoid, and I look at people and be like, paranoid? Why would pot make you paranoid? But it's a real thing because it did me, and I don't like not being in control of my actions and all that. I don't even like getting drunk.
Yeah.
So I want to know what's going on at all times, and I didn't like
Yeah.
that feeling, and I won't be doing that again. No.
Check that off of the bucket list.
Yeah, no.
Never to do again.
It was
That's the way I
trippy.
feel about it too. I don't want no food with it in it.
And
I
I'm an
don't want
adult, so
even
I
those
would
gummies and
with you know
stuff.
with a little bit of weight on them. So you did something like that, it'd probably take you.
Oh Lord,
It'd take you to
I'd
the
have-
floor.
I'd have been praying to Jesus and probably going to a hospital to confess my sin. You know what I mean? Like,
It
make
was-
it stop.
Yeah, it was.
Take it out.
It was not fun at all. Like I
Baby
did not
charcoal.
enjoy that experience at all. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't enjoyable for me.
Yeah, I don't
So.
understand what the hype's all about, really. Except that you hopefully end up with a funny story.
Well,
Because, I
we
mean, in
did.
my case, that was pretty stupid and funny. And I can laugh at myself for being dumb,
Yeah, and
you know.
yeah, I felt
No
like the
harm, no
Wicked
foul.
Witch. You know, I was melting in the shower.
I'm melting.
But yeah, the water didn't help either. So you know, I think it made it worse.
Yeah, I think it does make it worse, honestly. There was this other time I was at a place that had like a hot tub or a jacuzzi or something, and one of the people at the party decided they were gonna go smoke a big fatty and hop in the hot tub thing. And they're sitting there, and we're like all of a sudden they just kind of look weird, you know? They're just too loose. And we were like, sorry, Stanley. We were like, hey, so and so, are you okay? And they're like, yeah, somebody needs to help me get out. And we were like, what? Somebody needs to help me get out. I mean, even their mouth was just, ugh. And they said that the heat from the hot tub or whatever made them just turn to spaghetti. I guess because they were so high.
I've heard of alcohol doing that to you, but
But no, this was just, I mean, they might have had a drink or two, but nothing crazy.
yeah, no.
And I mean, it took three of us to get, and he was a skinny dude, but it took three of us to drag him up out of there. It was wild.
Yeah, nah, that's not for me.
And yeah, I was like, nope, that's not cool either.
Yeah, that's not for me.
Yeah.
It's one thing to just be relaxed, but it's another thing to be like, you just don't
Gone.
even know.
Where you can't, yeah, that's creepy.
That's
to me.
scary. That's
Yeah.
scary.
That's very creepy.
Because that can lead to whole
a whole different
whole other
ballgame.
things,
I know.
yeah.
One time, somebody slipped me that weird Mickey, the date rape drug. One time when I was at a bar, and I knew right away just because I'm hypersensitive to everything, smell, taste, sound, all that, and my tongue just kind of tasted different all of a sudden. And all I was drinking was Coke, so I knew something happened. And I just got straight in my car and started driving home, and I'm on the damn bridge coming across from one state to the other to get home. And and that freaking bridge came to life, man. It was like, it was so scary. And it was everything in me to get home, and I literally like fell out of the car and ended up on the driveway. And thankfully, my roommate, his girlfriend was still awake, and they heard me, I guess, fall out of the car and drug me in, and I was out for 3 days.
Jeez, that's.
I mean, it's like, and I know exactly who that was. That was that damn young Bin Laden dude that came for Derby. Remember me telling you about that? Because he came in with his whole soiree of
His little entourage.
yeah, his entourage, and wanted to talk to me while I was out on the dance floor, and I kind of dissed him. I just sort of laughed at him and dissed him, because I don't want nothing to do with no foreign prince. You know what I mean? Like, talk about stranger danger.
Right.
You know, for me, that's just the way I felt about it. It was stranger danger. It was, like, seriously a dangerous thing. But I think it was him and one of his dudes that did that because it pissed him off that I dissed him. I guess, you know, where he comes from, they don't do that shit to him. Everybody kisses his ass, but I'm not a ass kisser. I'm an American girl.
That's right.
So I'm like, yeehaw! You know, I'm all American. Pack my weapon and I'll spit as fur as the boys. And yeah, he didn't like that at all, apparently. Lesson learned. Don't smart off anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a scary thing, because that could have been a whole.
Ooh, I'd have been gone, child.
Yeah, it
They
could have went
done
south quick.
threw me, yeah, all the way to Florida south, because that's where they lived.
Yeah, that could have went south quick.
Yeah, they were up here for Derby. That's where they came from, was Florida. I mean, that's where all of them lived until after our whole, you know, Twin Towers thing happened. And they all got escorted out of the country in the middle of the night under a no-fly zone by a certain president. Yeah. Yeah. That was a whole crazy thing. But yeah, they literally lived in Florida. He'd have done threw me in their white van or their limousine or one of them vehicles that was in his whole line of people, you know, and I'd end up in Florida and nobody'd ever seen my ass again.
That'd be sad. I'd be so sad.
Right? Yep. Wasn't meant to happen that way.
Nope.
God kept me safe and got me home. That was nothing short of a miracle. I'm convinced of it. So, I mean, for me, like, I don't care for drugs. You know?
Right.
I ain't one of them people that cares about no drugs. I want nothing to do with none of them. Not the kind that I can take myself or the kind that somebody else can slip to you.
That's right.
I ain't a fan. Ain't a fan of none of it. I'd rather have my person intact and my consciousness intact and my dignity intact and, you know, all of it. The whole 9 yards. But, I mean, you know, the occasional gummy experiment or chocolate chip cookie or brownie or whatever hopefully is harmless enough, you know.
We learned our lesson.
I sure learned mine. I don't want to do it again. I ain't doing it twice.
Yeah. I don't ever want to feel that again.
I didn't like it.
And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. Like,
Right.
If somebody was to ask me, I'd be like, don't do that, because this was my experience.
Right.
It's trippy.
Yeah, I mean, you ate the whole cookie, though.
Yeah, but I mean, I was dumb. See, that tells you how much I knew. And everybody there was like, you know, you wasn't supposed to eat the whole cookie, so you're supposed to eat half of it. Well, how do I know? I don't do this
Yeah,
shit.
or a quarter of it.
Yeah, I don't do this shit. So how would I even know?
Well, I don't do that shit, but I knew. So
Well, I must be,
I don't know how you.
I must be that dumb blind
But-
joke thing there, because I didn't have a clue.
Yeah, I knew you're
And-
just supposed to have a smidge of one
Well, I ate the whole damn thing. So,
Ooh,
and I
child.
was
melting.
melting. Yeah.
Would
so-
you call it skin peeling paraNoia?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
called it. Cause,
That's what we're going to title the video. Skin peeling paraNoia for a reason. But yeah, I mean, mostly it's harmless.
I need a shirt that says "Don't eat the cookie."
Ah, you do. You do need a shirt. I'm gonna get you one for Christmas.
Don't eat the cookie.
Yes. Totally.
Instead of
totally
crack
make it.
kills, cookie kills.
I'm gonna have like a cookie with a little pot leaf inside of it.
Lord.
I'm totally gonna have that shirt made for you. What was I gonna say? Oh, but with all this crazy being said about different things, marijuana as a medicinal purpose is very good though. I ain't dissing the pots because
Yes.
it's great for lots of arthritises and diabetics and people with anxiety or PTSD.
It helps with headaches sometimes too.
Headache,
Like it just relaxes.
people that have
your-
eating disorders. I've heard that people on chemo treatments and stuff, that it helps them to feel hungry so they can eat, so they can build their strength back
Mhm.
up. So I mean, it's definitely got its good points if it's used properly.
That's the whole
You know,
key right
and
there.
epilepsy, it really helps great with epilepsy, from what I understand. There's been some good studies on that, apparently. So yeah, or maybe it's like the, what do you call it? Like the THC in it or something is what does it.
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. Something like that. But there's definitely some good compounds in it, you know, just like any other herb or plant on the planet. I feel like all of them are good for something.
Hmm.
We just gotta figure out what.
They're here for a reason.
Yeah,
They have a purpose.
that's right. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything that doesn't have a purpose.
I don't either. You know,
Somewhere in that long chain of events that goes on, there's a reason that we have this plant or that plant, or you know.
I think so too. Even I learned this recently. You know, we talk about the poison sumac trees that grow native around here.
Hmm.
And if you touch them suckers, dude, you break out in some awful, like, poison ivy type rash. I mean, it's really bad. But apparently the Native Americans actually used parts of that tree medicinally.
For what?
I don't remember what it said it was for, but I was, like, blown away by it. I was like, what?
Because I'd be afraid to even
Touch it.
Yeah, the juice.
How did they
in it,
harvest
yeah.
it without getting it all over
Because you
'em?
definitely, I wouldn't see it being anything you would consume.
No, you did consume it. Whatever. I don't know if it was the root or the bark or what it was of it. But there was something they used and would, I guess, made a tea, from what I remember. They would make a tea out of it or something. But, dude, don't go trying that shit unless you know what you're doing. Because poison sumac ain't nothing to
No.
sneeze at. My kids played hide and seek under it one time and come out covered in head to toe had it. I mean, it was awful. It was worse than any poison ivy I ever saw. But yeah, I think God gave us everything we need. We just don't know what it all does yet. Because apparently even some of the stuff that I thought was bad, you know, maybe if you use it right, it's got some good purpose, you know? Yeah. So anyway, that's our show for today. We wanted to lighten up the mood for people and share some funnies about our bizarre experiences with the marijuana plant in food.
Crazy, crazy food.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in again next time.